hello again. I'd like to suggest that Man Booker Prize novel readers are in for a treat if they turn to the 2013 winner, The Luminaries by Eleanor Catton. It was fascinating for me to pick this book up just after putting down the genuinely Victorian Middlemarch by George Eliot. This book that we're talking about today is 47 pages longer than that, so you might argue I was in training for it. Catton is a Canadian-born and educated writer, now living in New Zealand, and she has set her book there in Victorian times, 1865 to 66, when men of all classes came to the country intent on discovering a homeward bounder, that's to say a gold strike that would earn them enough to go home and live a life of ease and comfort. And where there are fortunes to be made, there are of course others willing to relieve the diggers of their bonanza by fair means or foul. The first time I walloped through this book, I was desperately trying to pick the winner from the Man Booker shortlist and getting it wrong. I was somewhat put off by the structure and the use of astrology charts at the beginning of each section of the book. Like the phases of the moon, the chapters start with a full 360 pages and then wane to a single page. Reading it this time, though, with more care and attention, while I'm still not drawn into the astrological decoration, I have been completely overwhelmed by the quality of Catton's plotting, structure and language of the story. English with occasional New Zealand Maori and Cantonese. As a lover of languages, this is my kind of book. She has the discursive abilities of George Eliot, or possibly a better comparison would be Wilkie Collins. Her first chapter, A Sphere Within a Sphere, relates from many perspectives the events of a single day, the 27th of January 1866, in the gold rush port town of Hokitika on the western Tasman Sea coast of South Island, where to this day there is a shipwreck memorial testifying to the difficulties of crossing the bar in stormy weather, where one can still stand on Gibson Quay or walk up Revel Street. So the story then is physically grounded in reality despite its astrological surface decoration. In this first chapter, we interrupt the 12 luminaries, Hokitika residents holding a private meeting in the Crown Hotel when Walter Moody, a Scottish lawyer, ferried ashore that very day after a stormy and frightening passage on the Godspeed that will itself be wrecked on the bar, unwittingly enters and puts a momentary freeze on their conversation until one of them talks with Moody and the others are gradually persuaded to reveal their separate stories for appraisal and comment by this 13th person in the room. All of them seem to have some relationship with an unfortunate whore, Anna Wetherell, who has just been found on the street, unconscious and incapable, probably due to the effects of opium, and meanwhile a former digger turned timber merchant, Crosby Wells, has just been found dead in his rural cabin with a fortune in pure gold hidden away. With great skill, Catton manages at one and the same time to thicken the plot and bring out the details that enable the reader to know what they need to know about all 20 characters in the book. Subsequent chapters move backwards and forwards between dates in 1865 and 1866, and intriguingly, the book ends before it begins. And slowly, the layers of the onion are peeled away to reveal more and more of the truth, the half-truths and the downright lies they are all telling, and something of their motives and motivations. Now, some, in inverted commas, facts are in the end never explained, and the reader will need to formulate his or her own explanation or rationalization of all these events, such as the brutal death in a closed paddy wagon of one of the characters. When the gold dust finally settles, I think we have a wonderful book here, with much authentic period detail woven among sparkling language and literary ingenuity, so it's not hard to see how the Luminaries by Eleanor Catton won the Man Booker Prize for 2013. I'll give this book 8.5 out of 10, and I must get hold of her first novel. Until we meet again,